Okay, horror fans, I know I can't be the only one that when I'm going across doom scrolling social media throughout the day, you start seeing those random horror memes that talk about comparing one classic film to another one, gives you a collection of great horror films that you can only pick one from, or maybe it just pulls up an obscure film that you might have never heard of, but 25 people have, and you have to explain why it's treasure or trash. Tonight, we're going to dissect one of those memes here in a new segment I'm calling Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new episode. Tonight, we are debuting a new segment that I'm calling after one of our favorite characters, Brenda Meeks, in the Scary Movie franchise. And what this segment is going to contain is I'm going to grab a random horror meme off of social media and we're going to talk about it in the episode. So sometimes it'll be one horror movie stacked up against another one. Sometimes we're going to pick one movie from a list of who knows how many to figure out which one is best. Sometimes we might be talking about an obscure film that only 15 to 20 of you have seen, and we're going to talk about why it's treasure or trash. But tonight, the meme that we're going to look at is coming from the Twitter sphere from user House of Horror CO, who has some amazing horror content on their feed. Y'all seriously go follow them on Twitter if you're not already, if you want some great horror engagement on a regular basis. Now, they put up a meme that contains 16 fantastic horror films, asking us to choose one film from each row. So we're going to go over that here in just a minute or so. But don't forget, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, no matter where you are tuning in to catch this episode. We got a lot of great content up on the channel, a lot of really good stuff coming up. I promise we are going to get to our reviews for Fright Night, for the original Toxic Avenger, for Street Trash. We're going to finish out Dexter Resurrection, and of course, we got more Alien Earth coming. I got a lot of stuff coming up here, folks. Long walk as well. So hit that subscribe button. I promise we're going to get that all to you sooner than later. Now, let's go ahead and get started here with our first ever edition of So, again, our meme tonight that we are taking comes from House of Horror CO over on Twitter. Now, if you take a look here, we are getting 16 of some of the finest horror films we have seen in the past 20 years. In row one, we have Final Destination Bloodlines, Bring Her Back, Prey, and Train to Busan. Row two, we have Alien Romulus, 28 years later, Sinners, and Evil Dead. In row three, we got Together, Get Out, The Menu, and Smile 2. And in row four, we have Midsummer, The Witch, The Substance, and Terrifier 2. Now, our goal here is to pick one film from each of these four rows to basically give us a good four-movie marathon. Now, I want to hear about what your choices are here in the comment section. And of course, again, go and subscribe to House of Horror CO over on Twitter. Follow them so you can make sure you're staying up to date with all these great memes and questions and horror engagement they have going on their feed as well too. But let's get started here with row number one. Now I can tell you right off the jump there, I have to get rid of Final Destination Bloodlines. I am a huge fan of the Final Destination franchise. I was a bigger fan of Bloodlines that came out just a few months ago. It reinvigorated the franchise, and we're going in the right direction because we are going to get a new Final Destination film sometime in the next year and a half here. But compared to the other films in this row, it unfortunately finds itself lacking a little bit here. So Bloodlines is going bye-bye, as well as Bring Her Back. Well, I do think that is one of the 10 greatest horror films of 2025. The problem is when I take a look at the other two films left in row number one, it's just not one that I'm going to find myself coming back to watch a lot, not because it's not good, but because it's particularly brutal and effective in its messaging, and it's a hard one to get through. So that takes us to Prey and Train to Busan. It is a coin toss. We're going to flip it. Heads, we are going with Train to Busan. While Prey is a fantastic way to bring the Predator franchise back, and Dan Trachtenberg is doing great with this, with Killer of Killers earlier this year, and with Badlands coming up in just a couple of months here. Unfortunately, it just doesn't hold up against one of the best zombie films we have seen in the last couple of decades coming out of Korea, Train to Busan, about a father trying to get his daughter back to her mother in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. It is terrifying. It is fast-paced. There's a lot of great action in it. If you're a fan of zombie films, this is definitely one you do not want to miss. It's on a number of streaming platforms right now. Go to justwatch.com. You can find out specifically where here. But Train to Busan takes the cake here on number 1. Moving on here to row number 2, folks. You know I got to go with Sinners on this one. Absolutely. Sinners is my favorite film of 2025 and one of the best horror films I have ever seen. Romulus, 28 years later, and Evil Dead are tremendous. These are all franchise films that have all done a great job of bringing back interest into their own respective franchises. I made my Faustian bargain in order to get us 28 years later by guaranteeing the Cowboys would never win another Super Bowl trophy here, so I gave that up. But Sinners changed me, y'all. Whether it's the music, the story, the acting, all of it put together there, this is one of the most impressive films I've seen in a long, long time. It is my current front runner for the best film of 2025. I'm curious to see if anything will topple that, but I just do not get the same feelings from any of these other films that I got checking out Sinners. This is such a good movie. And I don't want to drop any shade here at all, but I will say in regards to Evil Dead, the 2013 Evil Dead film, while I do enjoy it, my issue with it is the fact that it highlights more gore and brutality than it does with the scares or even the humor that we've been kind of used to in the Evil Dead franchise. It's a fantastic film, but unfortunately, I think it goes too hard in one direction, just like a lot of folks might accuse Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness going too far into the comedic direction there. There's got to be a good in between, which I think The Evil Dead is the movie that does that, but that's the reason why I can't choose Evil Dead 2013. Coming from row number 3, this is gonna be probably not a big surprise to any of y'all, but I am going with Jordan Peele's Get Out. Like a lot of you, I've been following Jordan Peele for the better part of 2.5 decades at this point, since the Mad TV days, to Key and Peele, to bit parts on random TV shows, popping up in movies, and to see my man absolutely love the horror genre and wanting to bring back these prestige films that you absolutely cannot miss. He's been knocking it out of the park with Get Out, with Nope, and with Us, folks. But the first one is absolutely the most memorable here, giving us Daniel Kaluuya, who is one of our greater leading men that we have out there that we should be seeing a lot more in these front positions here. But it's got to be Get Out. There's no questions about that at all. That is a favorite of mine. The twist in that is still so effective years and years later. It is phenomenal. Going to row 4. This is tough. This is a tough one here. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be The Witch or Terrifier 2. There's no question about that. Y'all, I am not a Robert Eggers guy. I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum there, but most of his films just don't connect to me the way that they connect to a lot of you. And The Witch is a number one, another one of those there. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's tremendous. That is some great horror for her. But Last Night in Soho was better. So was The Menu. And if I'm ranking these, if I can't pick The Menu, I'm absolutely not picking The Witch. So that's not going there. Terrifier 2, just not an Art the Clown guy, y'all. I'm just not. I'm ultimately not. There's nothing wrong with Terrifier 2. I think I gave it a 3.5 or a 4 when I put my review out for it a couple years back there. Terrifier 3, I think I gave a 4 to as well too. So I might not like them, but I'm honest and I'm able to see that these are well done movies. So I will give y'all that. Just does not work for me. I think ultimately the route I have to go in this case, it's going to be the substance. And that only comes down to the fact that I think Midsommar is incredible in every single part of it. I'm shocked. It's an Ari Aster movie that I go back to a lot, and I don't go back to a lot of his films there. And when I saw it, it was at the time where I thought A24 was a bit pretentious, and this very much turned my opinion of that studio around. So I want to choose it, but I cannot go against that double threat of Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley in The Substance, just putting on an absolute clinic. I do think it sucks that they weren't given the nods they absolutely deserved to win at the Oscars last year. That 100% should have happened, but I guess beggars can't be chooser. I'm the beggar in this particular case. They should have won. They absolutely should have won. So again, the four movies that we're left with coming out of this here is Train to Busan, Sinners, Get Out, and The Substance. That sounds actually like a pretty decent movie marathon there. But I want to hear what you guys would pick from these four rows. Let me know in the comment section. And again, go check out House of Horror CO over on Twitter so you can check out some more great horror content. And of course, make sure to follow me. The best way to do that is to get subscribed to my link tree at linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed, that's going to give you access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, your favorite podcasting platforms, the audio-only versions of the show, my Letterboxd page for written reviews and movie rankings throughout the year, my TikTok page for short horror content, including reviews, premieres, and previews, as well as my Twitch page for horror gaming, which includes Phasmophobia right now, and my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy a 20% discount off anything in the Fangoria shop. Take advantage of that, y'all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button wherever you are checking this episode out here. We got a lot of great content coming up here for you. I'm going to try to link you to as many reviews for the films that have been featured in this meme here on this episode. So there have been links all throughout and right here at the end as well too. Got a lot of great reviews coming up for y'all this week that I do not want you to miss. And we are also going to talk about the developing news on Alien Romulus 2 with Fede Alvarez not returning in directorial duties. We're going to talk about the rumors coming out about why that's going on. But that is going to do it for me tonight, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.